An ad hoc committee from the NCOP is back in Cape Town after conducting a nationwide tour to hear what the men and women in the streets of our cities and towns and villages have to say about the Protection of State Information Bill. They started their tour on the last day of January. The committee is now preparing its report to be tabled later this month. But to bring us up to speed with the input received from the public, we are now joined by the chairperson of the NCOP's ad hoc committee, Mr. Rasereti Itau. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, Kokele and the viewers at home.
Mr. Itau, tell us a bit about the way in which the public meetings were conducted. Was it open to all, or did you send out invitations?
I think, like we had said from the beginning, that our objective was to ensure that we would love to reach out to every South African, because this is one piece of legislation that has really created an atmosphere in South Africa where South Africans and ordinary citizens, and in particular in the rural areas, had really come to understand their democratic right, their constitutional obligations to participate in their democratic environment that has been created by the Constitution. It is for that reason that we then said we are going to go out to all provinces, to the cities, to the rural areas, reaching out to our people. We did that through a whole range of things. One, it was through placing adverts in the newspapers, engaging also with organizations or organs of civil society in popularizing these public hearings. Part of the things as well that we did was to ensure that we engaged with local radio stations in popularizing the public hearings. That is why you would realize that the turnout of most of these public hearings, we had not been engaging with less than 600 people.
But how did you select the areas, the particular areas that you visited?
One is we looked at the nature of provinces. For instance, we would know that we do have rural provinces, we do have urban provinces. In our rural provinces, for instance, your Limpopo, your KwaZulu-Natal, we would go out to about 3 public hearings. In your urban provinces, your Gauteng, we then chose about 2 places. But what was important to us was to then locate or identify locations in which we'll be able to get ordinary South Africans being able to participate.
But Mr. Tau, there were allegations that ANC strongholds were targeted. We heard that accusation when, for instance, the Western Cape meeting was held in Gugulethu.
I think it would be an unfair accusation to say that we targeted ANC stronghold, because in any way, anywhere where we went to, you had ANC supporters, you had DA supporters. And for your information, just to bring you on speed, in most of these meetings, if you can get access to our video or audio, not in particular video recordings, you would see that most of the people, particularly in the urban areas, it was your DA supporters who were there with their blue and white T-shirts, attending those meetings. We never stopped them. We never said to them that they cannot participate. We never even objected to them wearing their T-shirts and so forth.
A DA member of that committee that you're chairing, Mr. Tau, was saying the other day that some of the meetings were actually staged. What's your response to that?
Which DA member is that?
The DA member on the committee, can't remember the name now, but she joined us earlier during.
Are you talking about the Honorable Van Lingen?
That's correct.
No, in actual fact, it is quite unfortunate, because in the first place, the Honorable Van Lingen is not even a member of the committee. The only time I can remember the Honorable Van Lingen having participated in the hearings, it was in the Eastern Cape, where she went there as a person from the Eastern Cape. And all the things that she said that happened during the public hearings, I find them to be quite unfortunate, because it was just unsucked information. There were no facts about what she had said, where people have been denied an opportunity to speak and so forth. There's no such insofar as the public hearings were conducted. So I find the comments to be quite unfortunate and far-fetched, and more relying on hearsay.
There were also allegations that the public did not actually understand what the bill was all about. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree. I don't agree at all with that, precisely because of the level of engagement that we have had, even in a province such as Limpopo, in the Free State, in the Eastern Cape. We had substantive proposals even on the bill, and that in itself, to me, it was an appreciation of our people to say that we understand what is it that we're talking about in relation to how the bill is, the structure of the bill, the content of the bill, what the bill seeks to achieve, and so forth. It might have been unfortunate that in some instances you would have had people speaking about matters related to service delivery and so forth. And I've been on record, and the committee has been on record, to say that we're unapologetic about it because we are public representatives. If our people see us, they see an opportunity to raise their problems.
From your perspective as chairperson of the committee, what did the public tell you? Do they want the bill in its present form, or will they want to see some changes?
Of course, there are some changes that have been proposed. I can tell you, for instance, in the Eastern Cape, there was even a proposal on the title of the bill. In the Eastern, it's in the Free State. There was a proposal on how to strengthen the review panel on the bill. I can remember also in Gauteng and in Mpumalanga, where our people were even making some proposals on shortening the period of appeal and so forth. So that in itself, it clearly shows that a lot of work has been done in relation to understanding the bill by our people.
Are you considering amendments to the bill that was already adopted in the National Assembly?
Well, Mkokeli, let me just put it on record to say, as a committee now, we have not yet met as a committee to consider what has come out of the public hearings. We still have to go through a process of having in-house hearings or submissions by organs of civil society and so forth. And it is on the basis of that will then be guided to say, are there substantive areas that really need to be considered for amendments and so forth. So for now, I will be jumping the gun to say that, yes, we are considering amendments and so forth.
Finally and briefly, Mr. Tau, when do you expect the NCOP to vote on the bill?
Well, we are looking at not April now, May, precisely because of the workload of the parliamentary program, and of course what we had received so far. And I mean, I'm talking about plus 300 submissions that I just consider. When I just looked at them yesterday evening, and I said to myself, this is not going to be easy. So we are looking at your end of May to conclude this process.
Mr. Rasereti Tau is the chairperson of the ad hoc committee looking into the state protection of state information bill. We need to shorten that. We need to shorten that.
Secrecy.
Thank you very much, sir. Coming up after the break, a war of words between the Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform and the Freedom Front Plus parliamentary leader, Mr. Peter Groenewald. Stay with us.